Highly inappropriate, very problematic and risky is how Police Chief Cam McBride describes the friendship between veteran officer Robbie Taylor and a person associated with the Hells Angels. The associate cannot be named because of a publication ban.
Sergeant Taylor was fired from the Saskatoon Police Service in March because of that friendship. Now he's appealing the dismissal at a hearing. During testimony, Chief McBride said part of his role is to ensure values and ethics are upheld in the police service. He said their friendship contradicts the code of ethics, pointing to times where he said Taylor tried to benefit the associate. One instance, he said, was in 2023, when Taylor tried to intervene another officer, giving the associate a ticket after a traffic stop. When asked why remedial efforts weren't considered, McBride said the trust between Taylor and several members of the service had already been broken. Taylor's lawyer says there's no evidence to suggest the officer shared information with the associate or the gang. He also said Taylor was upholding the values of the police service by not discriminating against the associate.
If Sergeant Taylor is not fit for the badge because he treated someone not as a criminal, not as a drug dealer, but as someone who had a past that was deserving of redemption, well, I'd hate to see who is deserving of the badge.
Taylor's lawyers raise concern about a procedure not being followed properly and are filing an abuse of process application.
That's set to be discussed on Thursday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
An expansion to the Saskatoon Correctional Centre is now complete, with the facility now ready for inmates. Hallie Mandrick on the new space and how it's hoped it will improve conditions not only for offenders but staff as well.
The province has officially opened the Saskatoon Correctional Centre expansion.
We have allocated programming space that we just do not have in our current building due to the dated facility, and it will give us the flexibility and space to deliver core correctional programming to do that meaningful work in addressing risk factors in the community.
The $135 million expansion allows for an additional 312 beds, which will host offenders from across the province. The facility also has a medical unit, which includes dental and optical care. Additionally, the space is intended to have a specific focus on helping inmates gain skills that will help them after release.
A lot of the work that's done within the facility is on the reintegration practices. It's on providing the life skills and addictions treatment programming, things like that, to address the underlying factors behind criminal behavior.
The new building comes along with community partners such as the Saskatoon Tribal Council and John Howard Society, intended to facilitate core correctional programming.
We have them while they're in custody. We do what we can with the time they have, but of course it's a village to get these people a better life. We need to make sure that our community partners are able to come in, make those connections before they leave, so when they go into the community, that's already made.
While the older portion of the correctional centre will remain in use, the new space will provide additional support intended to decrease the number of offenders returning to the corrections system.
Crime is often a symptom of a different problem, and if we're addressing the underlying problem, it significantly reduces the risk that the individuals will ever come back to the correctional facility, which is the goal of the system, not to have them return.
Some offenders have already moved into the new building, and the province says that all inmates intended to be transferred to the new facility will be in it by November 14th. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Prince Albert High School was put into lockdown following a shooting this morning. Prince Albert police were called to Westmore Community High School on 14th Avenue West just before 10:30. They were told a gun was discharged outside the school. Police say a 16-year-old boy and 18-year-old woman were hit by what they call a projectile, but their injuries are considered minor. Officers found a gun a few blocks away and arrested a youth. There is no word on whether he has been charged. 2 men have been charged in connection with a shooting last month that left a girl injured. Donovan Mace on the investigation that raised safety concerns in one Regina neighborhood.
2 men are facing an attempted murder charge in relation to a shooting last month which injured an 11-year-old girl. On August 11th, police were called to Regina's Eastview neighborhood on the 1000 block of Edgar Street just after 2 a.m. following a report the girl was suffering from a gunshot wound. She was inside a home in the area at the time of the shooting. Now 5 weeks into the investigation, police revealing the home was targeted by the shooters, who fired nearly 20 bullets towards it.
It was a targeted location, and so for people in the community, I would reassure them that it is a safe neighborhood, that there aren't ongoing safety concerns.
RPS says dozens of hours worth of personal security camera footage of the area has been reviewed by investigators, and as a result, 20-year-old Anthony Nabexi and 18-year-old Devin Nabexi both face several charges, including attempted murder, reckless discharge of a firearm, conspiracy to commit murder, and 3 other charges related to gun possession and stolen property. Devin is also charged with 2 counts of possessing a firearm contrary to a prohibition order, both making their first court appearance Wednesday morning. Police could not confirm if the 2 men are related nor if this targeted shooting is gang-related.
We don't see these types of things happen in Regina on a daily basis, thankfully. We are not immune to gun crime, unfortunately. We are doing everything that we can to ensure that those who were responsible are held accountable.
Davies says the young girl continues to recover from the injury she sustained from the shooting. Now, with this investigation ongoing, Regina police continue to ask for any doorbell or video camera footage from the area of the night of the shooting, as well as for anyone who may have information related to this incident to come forward. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
3 additional people face charges in connection with an RCMP investigation in Richmond that led to a series of arrests earlier this month at the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada's compound. The trio faces charges over not providing their names or dates of birth to arresting officers when RCMP descended on the former Richmond school, where Romana Didulo and her followers had been living since 2023. All 3 face charges of 1 count of obstruction of a peace officer. They'll appear in court in Leader in November. Didulo also appeared in Swift Current Court today for a preliminary hearing. She is out on bail with a list of conditions. The Richmond compound has been deemed unsafe for human habitation by the Saskatchewan Health Authority. It was another lovely day today.
It certainly was, and not as warm as yesterday and not as warm as it's going to be as we head into towards the weekend. But all in all, a pleasant day, and I think the harvest weather's been pretty good. We're keeping our eye on this system down in the Dakotas. It is slowly making its way northward and will likely impact southeastern Saskatchewan, southwestern Manitoba. But the rest of the province and into Alberta, it looks like it's going to stay quiet, and a large portion of British Columbia too, although some snow and some rain may be coming to BC. We'll have more on that later.
The pause of a federal automotive program over zero-emission vehicle sales is getting a nod of approval in Saskatchewan. Keenan Sorokon on how dealerships feel they are staying in the driver's seat.
Vehicle sales in Saskatchewan are booming, but it's not electric or zero-emission vehicles driving sales.
At the end of the day, we'll sell what people want, and but the infrastructure has to be there.
Earlier this month, the Prime Minister announced a pause to a mandate, which would have required 20% of new vehicles sold in Canada be zero-emission vehicles starting next year.
This will provide immediate financial relief to automakers at a time of increased pressure on their competitiveness.
Dealerships are celebrating the decision simply because charging infrastructure is lacking.
Truly, it was a cart before the horse sort of a scenario. Based on the California numbers of 12 vehicles for 1 charger, we were going to be on pace to be over 52,000 chargers short in the province of Saskatchewan alone by 2035.
Overall vehicle sales are on track to make this the best sales year since 2017, up 14% compared to last year. Data from SGI shows more people are choosing electric, but the numbers are still well short of the federal government's goals. At the end of 2023, there were more than 1,700 electric vehicles registered in Saskatchewan. That number jumped to 2,500 by the end of 2024. As of Wednesday, there are nearly 3,000 electric vehicles on the road.
Certainly we had some adoption, but we need the other pieces to come along with it.
During the pause, Ottawa is also holding a 2-month review of the mandate. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
It's been almost 30 years since Saskatchewan got a new SJHL hockey team. It's why the city of Warman is hyped for the season opener of the newest team in the league, the Warman Wolverines. As Carla Shinkerick tells us, home games for this new team are expected to feel more like a WHL experience, and so far it looks like fans are buying in.
For 19-year-old Brexon Fox being a part of a brand new SJHL team launch is not lost on him.
It's pretty exciting. I mean, it's a new team, new year. Obviously, with fellas, we just kind of got our team put together, so looking forward to the crowd opening night.
And that's Friday for the first home opener, but it's not just what's going to be happening on the ice that's being prepared.
Quite literally all hands on deck this week, and we joked about how this is going to be the most stressful week of the year because this was really a startup. We started this team. We bought a franchise, but we started a business. We started a team from the ground up.
These co-owners pitching in, putting finishing touches on the rink, making sure the 1,200 plus fans who will fill this rink get their money's worth.
It's been just super the way the town has come around and said, hey, we'll buy tickets, we'll come out. We've sold out for this game already, obviously. We're looking hopefully at doing some standing room seats only.
Even the mayor, who has already gotten his Wolverines jersey, is ready.
It is really the only junior A hockey in the area. We'd have to go to Humboldt or North Battleford to get the closest teams beyond us. So really, we invite all the area to come to this.
And the team buzz is real, with merchandise a hot commodity.
The rink will be filled with people wearing jerseys as well as our hoodies. We've already had to do a restock on our merchandise, all of our sweaters, t-shirts.
She tells us the home games are going to feel like a WHL game with a huge screen for replays and a light and fog show.
I think even if you don't necessarily like hockey yet, the show that will happen on our game days will be enough to draw you in and keep you coming back.
With fans also in mind for this forward, he thinks they'll like what they see from the players also.
We'll see opening night, but right now I think we're all pretty confident about what we can do.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Warman.
The city's waste drop-off program for household items is winding down for the season. The Household Hazardous Waste program at the Saskatoon landfill restarted in May and is accepting eligible waste Wednesdays between 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. The last drop-off day for the year will be Wednesday, October 29th. The city is also adding a couple of weekend drop-off days, the first being Saturday, September 27th, and the other Sunday, October 5th. Among the accepted items, aerosols, automotive fluids, cleaners, light bulbs, and yard chemicals. The goal is to avoid throwing these items, which are potentially harmful to the environment or to people, in the garbage or recycling bins. A funeral home in Moose Jaw is offering a unique way to remember loved ones. Damien Smith on the memories set in stone.
In Moose Jaw, a newer way of holding a loved one who has passed is now available in the form of parting stones.
As a funeral home, we want to ensure that we are watching for ways for family to be able to honor their loved one. And we know that in times where there's cremation that takes place, not everyone is comfortable with an urn, and they're also not comfortable with placing in a cemetery.
Chamberlain reached out to Parting Stone, a company that compresses cremated remains. They take the ashes, convert them into powder, add water to make a clay-like substance, and put them in a kiln.
And once the firing is complete, this is where the solidification takes place. This is when they come out of the kiln, they really feel like a natural stone. They have kind of the properties of ceramic.
Based in New Mexico, this stone formation service remains quite rare. For Crow, the business is also personal.
This is one of the stones of my grandfather. My grandfather is all over the U.S. He's in Denver. He's in Akron, Ohio with my family.
Chamberlain says that the stones are in gradual demand in Moose Jaw, as this is a less traditional way for family and friends to grieve.
The urn can be heavy. That's just the way that it is, where they can take a stone and they can hold this stone and they can reconnect. You're actually touching your loved one now, right? You're connecting with them this way rather than holding an urn that contains the ash.
The stones can be created from a variety of different colors and can also be created from pets as well. Damien Smith, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
Still to come, the Bank of Canada releases its latest interest rate decision, how it could impact your finances. Also, who hundreds of people gathered to pay their respects for last night in Saskatchewan. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. Canadians haven't seen a bank rate cut since March, nor seen it this low in years after the Bank of Canada eased its trend-setting interest rate to 2.5% today. It means some variable rates have dropped below fixed rates. CTV's Michael Couture takes a closer look at the thinking behind the rate reduction.
With global economic growth showing signs of slowing, Tiff Macklem says much of the uncertainty is because of the trade war with the U.S.
Tariffs are weakening the Canadian economy.
Canada's central banker couldn't be more blunt, as exports dropped by 27% in the second quarter of this year and inflation rose by 1.9%. Tiff Macklem and his team decided it was best to lower interest rates.
Canadians remain concerned about the cost of living, and our primary mandate is to maintain low, stable inflation, and we are very focused on that.
Canada's GDP declined by 1.6% in the second quarter, and some forecasts have the rest of the year looking flat, leading some economists to use the R word.
The term is technical recession, where there's two negative quarters. Well, certainly we're pretty well there. The third quarter, it's going to be flat at best.
The central bank disagrees, predicting modest growth in the second half of the year. But Macklem says that could change depending on what comes from the U.S.
Where there's a significant escalation of tariffs, U.S. tariffs, in that scenario, the Canadian economy does go into recession.
The effects of the trade war are also being felt in the U.S., where job gains have slowed and inflation ticked up. It's why the U.S. Federal Reserve recommended cutting its interest rate by 25 basis points on Wednesday. And while the decisions in each country are made independently, it does provide some perspective.
You know, we talk about we got a big deficit of debt. Well, theirs is way bigger than ours are.
The Bank of Canada's next rate decision is in October, but it's unclear if there will be another cut then. With the federal budget expected November 4th, Macklem could wait to see the scope of government spending before cutting the interest rate again. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Prime Minister is heading to Mexico tomorrow to try to mend fences with the country's president. The hope is it will help to deepen trade ties between the two countries and patch up strained relations after several political incidents. CTV's Judy Trin on what the Prime Minister is hoping to accomplish.
Not the best deal of anyone right now. 85% of trade between Canada and the United States remains free, but change is coming. The existing North American agreement expires next June. The Trump administration has served notice that its public consultations on CUSMA have started. It's seeking input on how it can be remade to strengthen U.S. competitiveness, productivity, and technology.
Clearly, the U.S. is moving into the phase of preparing for renegotiation, and they're trying to get stakeholders to give them a list of all of the things that they have concerns about.
The official start of the CUSMA review comes as the Prime Minister travels to meet Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Thursday. Canada did $56 billion in trade with Mexico last year. Both countries want to increase business with each other, but also face tariff pressure from the U.S.
I find it very, very difficult to imagine how the two countries are going to find a lot of common ground. There's so much pressure right now, which is sort of pushing them away from each other as each one tries to secure preferential treatment from Washington.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith have previously said that they would be in favor of dropping Mexico from CUSMA to curry favor with Donald Trump. But both the Prime Minister and President Sheinbaum have said they are in support of a North American trade agreement. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
People gathered at the Saskatchewan Legislative Building last night to remember Conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot during an appearance at a Utah Valley University last week. He was the founder of the conservative youth organization Turning Point USA. The vigil drew hundreds of people to the legislative grounds to remember him. Meanwhile, ABC says it is taking Jimmy Kimmel live off the air indefinitely. It comes after the host commented on Kirk's suspected killer. The announcement came after at least one major operator of ABC-affiliated stations said it would not broadcast the show for the foreseeable future. Nexstar says it strongly objects to comments concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk. A representative for Kimmel has not yet responded to a request for comment. All right, Jeff, as we get closer to the weekend, the temperatures are staying warm.
Yeah, staying warmer than seasonal, and even though they're going to back off a little bit, they still be warmer and quite warmer by the time we get into the heart of the weekend and for the arrival of fall itself. But we'll talk about that in a little bit here. I left my clicker someplace else. So just pretend. Let's chat amongst yourselves. Here we go. I'll click this. There you go. Okay, here we go. There we go. I'll come in again. Here we go. All right, so 19 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, 20 in the Battlefords. Look, I'm back. And then as we take a look at what's going on with our almanac, 21 degrees for a high, 18 is typical for this time of year. 2009, 32 degrees is the record temperature. That we weren't close in terms of breaking that, but a very chilly -6 degrees from, once again, 1918. And the sun is going to go down at 7:17.
Coming up, feathery friends become a family. We introduce you to a Calgary man with a flock of loved ones.
Get ready to ring those phones. Saskatchewan, Thursday on Your Morning. Telemiracle is right around the corner. We're getting a closer look at this year's entertainment lineup.
All right, welcome back, and taking a look at our live lens of Skycam. You can certainly see a few lonely clouds out there, but really, we've been having a pretty quiet situation. I know I've been using that word a lot, but it tends to certainly describe what's been going on with regard to our weather, and the active weather has not been impacting Saskatchewan in a significant way. But we'll take a look at our satellite and radar shot here, and as you can see, we do keep our eye on this large area in South Dakota making its way north, and so we're going to keep our eye on that. We do expect it to impact parts of southern Saskatchewan, and a lot more rain and snow. As I said, alpine snow in the Rocky Mountains and along the coast as well, and so a bit of a soggy situation coming later in the coming days into the weekend in British Columbia, but across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, for the most part, fairly quiet. Let's take a look at our numbers. 19 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, 20 in the Battlefords, and moderate winds right now out of the east. We have Maple Creek as the hot and the cold spot. This happens every so often, and today is one of those days. Maple Creek at 23 and at 1 degree to bookend the extremes there. 22 degrees in Lloydminster right now, 18 in Swift Current, 16 in Yorkton, 20 in Moose Jaw and Estevan, 19 in the Queen City. Into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from 17 degrees or 16 degrees in Hudson Bay at 17 in Wynyard, but it does get as warm as 20 degrees in a few locations. It's 19 in Meadow Lake, 19 as well in Watrous, 18 in Waskesiu and Nipawin, 18 as well in Stony Rapids. It warms up to 19 in Buffalo Narrows. It's just 14 right now in Sandy Bay, Island Falls. And down south, temperatures sort of all over the map in some respects. We've got ourselves 17 in East End, but 20 in Maple Creek and Leader, 20 as well in Carlisle, 16 in Melville, so a bit more of a range in southern Saskatchewan from the mid-teens to 20 degrees. Now, on to our futurecast. As you can see, the active weather from the Dakotas is slowly making its way into Manitoba and Saskatchewan, but we'll wait and see what that's like tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. Around the province for tomorrow, we're looking at a mix of sky conditions for northern Saskatchewan, temperatures in the high teens, low 20s. Temperatures close to that in west central Saskatchewan, maybe a little bit warmer. Kindersley expected to hit 23 tomorrow, 22 in Rosetown, 21 in Meadow Lake. Temperatures in the 20s for southwestern Saskatchewan, 24 for Maple Creek and Leader, 22 in Swift Current, expecting some morning fog there, 21 in Outlook, 20 in Moose Jaw tomorrow with mainly cloudy skies and cloudy conditions for Yorkton, Regina, and Estevan, with temperatures of around 17 degrees for those three locations. And temperatures darn close to that for east central Saskatchewan, a little bit warmer, but only by a point or two, with mainly cloudy skies. On to the Battlefords. Overnight dropping down to 9 degrees. The winds back off as well. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. And then we've got ourselves 22 degrees on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, mainly sunny. And look at this, temperatures warming up to 27 on Sunday. The arrival of fall, 12:19 p.m., so 12:19 in the afternoon. On Monday, that's when fall arrives with mainly sunny conditions in 21. And then really warming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures around 24 degrees. For Prince Albert, clear skies with fog patches, 8 degrees. 18 degrees on Thursday, and then 19 on Friday. Temperatures are around 25 on Saturday and Sunday, so certainly a warm weekend and a relatively warm start to the fall season, and then warming up to 24 on the first full day of fall. 9 degrees with clearing skies. Some fog patches showing up, but they will dissipate, but we will have mainly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, 20 degrees for a high, not much of a wind, and then 22 on Friday, 25 on Saturday, and whoo-wee! 28 on Sunday, and the arrival of fall comes with a 22-degree high temperature, and 26 on Tuesday and 24 on Wednesday.
If my life's coming to an end, I really can't complain. I had a great life.
I had a brilliant career, and it ended in a brilliant way.
An upcoming documentary is promising a candid look at the final days of music legend Ozzy Osbourne. Paramount Plus revealed the trailer for Ozzy, No Escape From Now. It's a feature-length film that's been produced in collaboration with the Osbourne family. The singer died in July, not long after a special farewell concert. In the doc, Ozzy opens up about years of health challenges, including the effects of Parkinson's disease diagnosis. It also features interviews with wife Sharon and children Amy, Kelly, and Jack. It streams starting October 7th.
Oh, these look different. Check. Check. Much more complicated. Okay.
Spoiler alert! On last night's finale of Amazing Race Canada, close your ears if you haven't watched it yet. Close your ears. Okay, close your eyes too. Jonathan Braun and his race partner Jesse Herink are season 11 champions. Braun is from the Ottawa area while Herink is from Alberta, but both represent Vancouver where they currently live. They're taking home a 2025 Chevy Blazer, a trip around the world, and $250,000 cash. And for Canadian game shows, that's tax-free. Sabrina Carpenter is among the headliners of the 2026 Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. Other headliners include Justin Bieber and Karol G, Addison Rae, Iggy Pop, The Strokes, Young Thug, and many more. I love many more. They're great. Coachella returns to the Empire Polo Club at Indio, California for 2 weekends in April.
All right, Jeff, I hear you were helping to open doors today.
Mostly knocking on them.
Welcome back to Jeff's Mystery Door. Who's behind this door? Let's find out. Ooh, I wonder who it could be.
Hi, Jeff.
Look, it's Kim from Big Brothers Big Sisters Saskatoon. And this door has a lot to do with your upcoming campaign. Tell us about that.
That's correct. That's our 85 Doors campaign. And the number 85 signifies the kids that are waiting on the wait list. We always have about 85 kids that are waiting for a mentor. They're already signed up, but we need to get them matched. What the 85 symbolizes is, those kids. And for every door that we open, we're asking for the community to step up, businesses and individuals, and contribute $1,500 per door. Help us open 85 of those. $1,500 is what it takes to start and support a match for a year. And there's lots of things that go behind the scenes in supporting a match, and that's what we're looking to do.
All right, so we're raising money, but as you mentioned, you're also looking for people to become mentors, to become big brothers, big sisters. And how do people do that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers to be matched up with young people. It's really just going out and having a good time with kids. So people can reach out to us through our website or give us a call, talk about all the different programs that we have, ways that volunteers can get involved. It doesn't matter your time commitment. We've got, volunteer opportunities for a little bit of time a week up to a little bit more time, for a year or a little bit less. So yeah, give us a call if you think mentorship is something for you.
All right. And so for more information on the campaign, 85doors.ca. Thanks a lot, Kim.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
All right. A trio as usual for pick of the day, correct?
Well, Well,
you added one?
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's take a look at this one. This comes to us from Patrick here in Saskatoon. Bee is busy getting ready for winter. Yes, indeed. And that is a lovely shot. Nice close-up there, Patrick. Our next one comes from Dawn in the Lawson Heights area of Saskatoon. And hi, Jeff. Fabulous fall day. The train bridge going into Never Never Land. Yes, it was a foggy day. That is a great shot. Kind of spooky, kind of placid. You be the judge. And finally, wow, we've got a great picture here. Sherry Elder, a grandniece, sends us in this, and family and friends are thrilled to celebrate Anise Fawell, originally from Unity and now a resident of Poplar Courts in Wilkie, on the occasion of her 107th birthday. Do we have another picture of her there? Yes, we do, enjoying that cake. So that was a cake that, as you read the inscription on there, she was still golfing when she was 99, and she's still going strong at 107. So we'd like to add our best birthday wishes to Anise as well. So happy birthday, and thank you for sharing that, Sherry. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. Please put pick of the day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, a Calgary man with some special connections. What's flocking to be part of his inner circle?
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Cockatoos are a part of everyday life for a Calgary man. As Kevin Green tells us, he can be spotted taking some of his feathered friends for daily walks around the city.
Enrique Esteban takes his cockatoos, Bandito and Corky, for walks through Calgary parks. Unlike dogs, his pets aren't on leashes. They take off into the trees, sometimes for hours before flying back to him.
The way to interact with any animal as a pet, the most beautiful and genuine way of doing it is to deal with them with as close as possible as to what they would be doing in nature.
Bandito can only fly short distances and glide because of an old wing injury acquired before being adopted by Esteban. But Corky soars above the trail. Esteban says after doing this for over 30 years, the pair of birds treat him like a member of their flock.
I feel sensitive enough to be connected with them.
We were just walking saying, we don't see any birds here anymore. And then looking and we look and here we are, there's birds.
The sight of the tropical birds perched on Esteban's rope, then taking flight, turns heads.
What the heck? Because I was trying to figure out what kind of a bird it was. I said, it's not a raptor. That doesn't sound local. And then I saw what was going on.
Here.
Yeah.
Esteban uses those encounters as a chance to teach people about the longevity and intelligence of cockatoos.
Never force any living creature to do what you know that is not in their intention or on their habits, because indirectly they might be telling you, no, I don't feel secure in this environment.
Esteban says he's never trained the birds, saying instead the reason the birds return to him every day is because they've trained him.
Whenever you have a pet, never humanize your pet. Instead, animalize yourself.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
When we come back, a provincial rivalry back on the turf. And later, will Rider fans be in for a tailgating good time? Woo-hoo!
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow, and things are going to be staying on the warm side of seasonal. And it doesn't look as though we have much in the way of active weather. I've been saying that all week, and that's been the case all week. Look at this. Sunshine from Meadow Lake and Lloydminster, mainly sunny skies for Kindersley, temperatures in the low 20s. Temperatures cool off a little bit as we make our way eastward, but not by a lot. Come on. Come on, 17 degrees in Wynyard, 18 in Hudson Bay. That's maybe Wynyard's slightly below seasonal. Then make our way down into southern Saskatchewan, north and south of the Trans-Canada. Maple Creek and Leader, both with lots of sunshine, 24 degrees. And then as we make our way to the eastern side of the province, in anticipation of that system coming in from the States, things really do cool off. Broadview and Carlisle, just 14 degrees, 16 in Kenora, but everyone else doing not too badly. So what about Lanigan? Well, to answer that question, the answer is 18 degrees, so pretty much much seasonal temperatures for Lanigan, partly cloudy skies, and winds out of the southeast to 10, so hardly any wind at all. And so that's how things are shaping up for Lanigan, and that's one of the many places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from Sasktel.
All right, another time for X's and O's, and yikes might be the best word to describe this. Riders were exposed on the corners with, of course, the injuries to Marcus Sales. Tavon Campbell didn't play, so 2 players got their first ever start. Sapp the third and Exume. Exume has been around for a bit, but has never really started. And was it as simple as that? I mean, Tyson Philpott, 238 yards on 9 catches, or was there more to it? Because their running back, Stevie Scott III, also went off for 125 yards.
Yeah, you know what, Lee? I was thinking about this, trying to make sense of it, and it really, I think a little bit of it was just matchup issues, but at the same time, obviously, Montreal's coaching staff, Jason Moss, they realized the issues that the Riders had with their roster and decided to kind of focus on that as far as coming out early and really trying to get Tyson Philpott in that one-on-one with Exume and take advantage of it. And it seemed to be working early on, so they kind of just kept going back to it. I was a little disappointed in the Riders staff just for not really making that adjustment or just sitting back in more zone and not really getting Exume locked up one-on-one as much. And I don't even know if it was necessarily man-to-man coverage, but it was just situations where they knew that coverage was going to kind of expose Exume and have him kind of out there on his own. Now, I know he's a great athlete, great kid, and he'll bounce back. But, yeah, it wasn't the best showing in that aspect. But as far as the game goes, it was really just the weather played into it a little bit as far as turnovers. Montreal fumbled the ball a couple times, but they got them both back.
Right.
Riders fumbled twice, lost them, and threw a pick. So, and then had that turnover on downs late, which I don't really factor in as much. But anyway, at the end of the day, I think it was the weather.
Let's jump then to the offense. Hopefully the defense can fix things up. CJ Rivas also leaving the game, so this bye week could be helpful to get those 3 players maybe healthy a little bit. We'll know more next week. But offensively, yeah, it took them a while. It seems the Montreal's defense was able to catch on a little bit on their short game, getting on the slants, but still somewhat okay. I mean, A.J. Ouellette still 90 yards. He's almost at 1,000 yards for the season.
Yeah, he's just been having a quietly great season, right? He's had some struggle, little injury issues, and, you know, the Rider O-line was touch and go there, the injury issues there as well. So I think that's one bright spot is, right, the running game is getting going at the right time of the year. A.J.'s still looking healthy and really running his best. Seems to be getting better and better as the season goes, and the offensive line is only likely going to get healthier. And I think, you know, we might get some receivers back that also threaten teams to maybe worry about maybe having a little more of cover guys on the field and opening up the Riders' run game even more. So I think that's definitely a bright spot going down the stretch.
What about Joe? Looked like he's a little more comfortable now that he's had some reps. He was kind of the leading receiver. The Riders keep having different guys pop up and play well at different times. That's got to be a benefit as we move forward.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Joe, you know, he came in early, and I remember the Riders kind of making him do some blocking in that first game back. But he got into the receiving action, like 8 catches last game, over 100 yards, and really it just adds to, you know, the guys that opposing teams have to worry about. So Joe is just another way. You know, you got Robustelli, who's had a big game. Neal has had some big catches, touchdown Tommy, as they're calling them. So I think, you know, you talk about those guys, and then you talk about some of the vets that might be coming back. And the Riders shouldn't have a personnel issue. It's really just going to be about schemes and guys making plays down the stretch.
Well, of course, they're on their bye week. Next week, we'll get you set for their next game. They still have a chance to clinch a home playoff game, but they need BC, who's playing Calgary, and they need Edmonton and Winnipeg, all to lose, which could happen. You never know. They fall into their lap. We'll analyze next week on another edition of X's and O's.
The Saskatchewan Huskies will try to get back on track this week as they host their provincial rivals, the Regina Rams, this weekend.
We're advertising it as homecoming too, so hopefully you're gonna get a big crowd out, and yeah, it's always a good game between us and the Rams.
Yeah, it's a one-off with them this year, so we know we got to win this one. We're treating it like a playoff game, and yeah, obviously we remember the Hardy Cup last year.
Friday will be the only meeting of the regular season between the Regina Rams and Saskatchewan Huskies. The Huskies are 2-1 on the season and coming off a tough loss to Manitoba last week. Meanwhile, their provincial rivals are undefeated so far and will be bringing a powerful offense led by a running back, Marshall Erickson. Huskies head coach Scott Flory says his team will have to capitalize on opportunities when they are there, something he felt they failed to do against the Bisons.
We missed a whole bunch of stuff, and that wasn't anything that they did or nothing against them. It's just that, like, when we look at ourselves and we look ourselves in the mirror, we know that we let one get away, and we got to do everything to right our wrongs here this week.
The Rams last faced the Huskies in the conference championship last season. The rematch goes Friday night at 7 at Griffith Stadium. The union representing WestJet flight attendants says it plans to start talks over a new collective agreement before the current one expires on December 31st. QP says members are seeking better treatment and compensation for what it says is unpaid work while the planes are on the ground. The airline says it's looking forward to engaging at the table to reach an agreement. Earlier this month, Air Canada flight attendants rejected their employer's latest wage offer in a new contract vote after striking in August over similar concerns. Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon currently just over $1.35 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.28.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco jumped $2.37 today, and Nutrien finished the day down at $77.80. Coming up, the riders look to enhance their fan experience. Then why one top toy is somewhat surprising, as it could reach the Toy Hall of Fame.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television, starting tonight at 7 with MasterChef. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are hoping to bring a proper tailgating experience to fans next season. In an email sent to season ticket holders, Rider President and CEO Craig Reynolds said the team has been working with the government of Saskatchewan in hopes of bringing legal tailgating to Mosaic Stadium next season. It goes on to say season ticket holders will have first access to tailgating spaces if the proposal goes ahead. Several other CFL markets allow that at stadium grounds, including Calgary, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. The province says it's exploring the request to develop some framework for tailgating at Riders games. It says a number of things like public safety would need to be considered, as well as support and collaboration with the city of Regina if they were to go ahead. So, to be continued.
Mr. Speaker, I concur. This is a great idea.
All right, well, the finalists for the 2025 Toy Hall of Fame are out, and there's some somewhat surprises, I think. The list is compiled each year by the Strong National Museum of Play. And this time around, yes, you're seeing correctly, snow is one of the options for the honor. Referring to snowball fights, organizers describe the substance as a mostly harmless projectile that provides endless fun. Other finalists include board games like Trivial Pursuit, Connect 4, and Catan, Spirograph, Scooters, Slime, Tickle Me Elmo, Furby, and Cornhole, all making the list. The public can vote for their favorites, and a panel of judges will decide which will be inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame in November. That'd be a great job to have.
Well, it'd be pretty cool. Hey, great Trivial Pursuit finally there. That's great to see. You know?
Yeah. Surprised it's not there already.
Well, like
I'm
a lot of these
surprised,
things.
though, that
well, exactly. Spirograph's not already in. Okay, come on, it's a classic.
Yes,
but
no.
exactly, and snow a little surprising because it's like okay, it's snow.
It's pastime.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
Just
just like we love snow, but it's like it's just not the deal.
Well, I guess you won't be voting for it then.
I guess I won't because I'm a secret voter. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, well, no snow in the forecast.
No snow in the forecast. I'm not sure if we have time for this, but we can tell you that it's going to be another pretty pleasant day.
All right. With that, we'll leave you. Good night. Have a great evening.